In this lecture, we'll discuss about the working principle of three-phase induction motor, slip of the induction motor, and frequency of the rotor current. So first, we'll discuss the working principle. The induction motor in general works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Okay. So the stator remains stationary and it consists of three-phase windings, and each winding is displaced by an angle of 120 degree. Okay. So whenever a three-phase AC supply is given to the stator, a rotating magnetic field is produced in it. The speed of the rotating magnetic field is defined as the synchronous speed, and it is given by ns is equal to 120 f by p. So now let us assume that this is the stator, okay, and this is the rotor. Okay, so whenever a three-phase supply is given to the stator, a magnetic field is produced. These are the magnetic fields produced in the stator. So these magnetic fields are rotating in nature. So now the rotor conductors or in general rotor will cut the magnetic field. Okay, these are the rotor conductors. Okay, so an EMF will be induced in the rotor conductors. So these rotor conductors are short circuited with the help of end rings. Okay, so they form a closed loop. As a result, a current will start flowing through the rotor conductors. So whenever a current flows through the rotor conductors, a magnetic field will be set up around the rotor conductor. So this is the magnetic field of the rotor. Okay, now we have two magnetic fields. One is the magnetic field from the stator, which is rotating, and another one is the magnetic field which is set up around the rotor conductors. So now these two magnetic fields will interact with each other. So if you see here on the left hand side, these two magnetic fields are in the same directions, and so they will get added with each other. And on the right hand side, if you see here, these two are in the opposite directions. That is, the stator magnetic field and the rotor magnetic field will get cancelled with each other. So as a result, we have higher flux density on one side of the rotor conductor and lower flux density on the other side of the rotor conductor. So now this higher flux density will try to push the rotor conductor towards the lower flux density. Okay. As a result, the rotor will start rotating. So this rotor will start rotating in the direction of the stator. Stator, that is stator magnetic field. So these are the points which we have discussed initially. The rotor is stationary and it will cut the rotating magnetic field. So EMF will be induced. So due to this EMF, current will start flowing. So again, this current will produce a magnetic field around the conductors. So this direction, so the direction of the rotor flux is same as of the rotor current. So now we have two fluxes, one in stator, another one in rotor. So these two fluxes will interact with each other. So on one end of the conductor, the fluxes cancel each other, and on the other end, the density of the flux is very high. So the high density flux will try to push the conductor of the rotor towards the low density region. As a result, the rotor will start rotating. Okay. So this phenomenon induces a torque on the rotor, and this torque is known as electromagnetic torque. So in general, whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. So that force is a torque. So this torque is the electromagnetic torque. So this direction is similar to the direction of the rotating magnetic field. Okay. So next we'll see slip of the induction motor. So the rotor never catch up with the speed of the magnetic field. So the meaning is the rotor will always rotate at a speed which is slightly lesser than the synchronous speed. Okay, so if the rotor rotates along with the magnetic field, that is with the same speed, then there will not be any relative speed between the rotating magnetic field, and so no EMF will be induced, and so no torque will be produced. So the rotor always rotates at a speed which is lesser than the magnetic field. So the difference in the speed between the synchronous speed and the actual speed of the rotor is defined as slip. So the slip is always expressed as a percentage of synchronous speed. So percentage slip is equal to ns minus n divided by ns into 100. Ns is the synchronous speed and n is the speed of the rotor, or in general speed of the motor. So the difference in the speed ns minus n is called as a slip speed. Okay. So now the motor or the rotor speed, if we cross multiply these, we will get s into ns is equal to ns minus n. So on rearranging, we can write n is equal to ns into 1 minus s. So the rotor or the motor speed is given by synchronous speed into 1 minus Yes, where S is the slip of the induction motor. So next we'll see frequency of the rotor current. So when the rotor is stationary, so initially when the rotor is not rotating, the frequency of the rotor current is same as that of the supply frequency. But when the rotor starts revolving, then the frequency depends upon the relative speed or the slip speed. So relative speed means the difference in speed between the synchronous speed and the rotor speed. So let at any speed the frequency of the rotor is f dash. Okay. So this can be written as ns minus n is equal to 120 f dash by p. So ns minus n is the slip speed. So let this be equation number 1. So now we know that ns is equal to 120 f by p. So ns is the synchronous speed of the rotating magnetic field. So this is equation number 2. So dividing these two equations, we can write ns minus n by ns. So in here left hand side ns minus n, here we have ns. So ns minus n by ns is equal to 120 by p will get cancelled. So remaining terms f dash by f. So already we know that ns minus n by ns is slip. Yes. So now f dash can be written as s into f. So f dash is the frequency of the rotor current. So the frequency of the rotor current is equal to slip times the frequency of the supply.